You won't believe it. We were three of the best friends in the world, but we fought over this and ended up separated forever. Now let me tell you what happened in our story. Don't forget to support and subscribe us. And so it is. The very moment a hand reaches for the cup of a fair-armed muse, not only does the rosary break, but the bonds of friendship also fall apart. Love is like a flame. If it falls upon dry straw, in a blink it can turn a harvest to ashes. At times it brings disgrace, even suicide or scandal. At times it turns old friends into bitter enemies. We were three, myself, David, and Michael. Young, full of zeal, students of literature. We spent every day and every night together. If one of us was absent, it felt as though something vital was missing. Books were always with us. Shakespeare and Byron, histories of Greece and Rome, the verses of poets. We carried bread and cheese and fruit into the fields, spreading blankets beneath the trees. By streams, in the shade, we felt the world belonged to us. Carefree, light-hearted, unburdened. We read, we spoke, we laughed. And when fatigue set in, we dreamed of futures bright and fair and took omens from poetry. The tree of our friendship grew greener, stronger, until one day the blight of love fell upon it. Sophia, the neighbor's daughter, appeared like a cool breeze, yet behind her came the storm. In those days, women were veiled, their beauty hidden, but her eyes tore through every covering. Each step she took revealed, in the sway of her thin veil, the grace of her figure. Her black hair sometimes slipped free, and her glances struck like arrows at the heart. I, from the very first sight, was captured. I told myself how sweet it would be if she gave her heart to me, if we were engaged, married, if we built a home, and lived our days in the warmth of love and memory. Weeks passed until fortune knocked on our door. Sophia's father visited mine. He praised my courtesy and character and asked if I might tutor Sophia in the afternoons. What greater happiness could there be? That night, I did not sleep. I soared in dreams. The next day, heaven opened before me. I entered their house, a room with stained glass windows, casting red and blue upon the carpets, the air scented with orange blossoms. A low table stood with books and inkwells. I sat, and then Sophia entered, the rustle of her gown still echoing in my ears. The lesson began, but what lesson? My heart pounded, my eyes fixed on the page, yet strayed to her face and her hair. In the corner sat her grandmother, smoking a water pipe, her stern gaze never leaving us. Days went by. Sometimes Sophia would read a poem aloud, her warm voice carrying me into reverie. Sometimes she mocked the heavy verses, saying, "Why must I memorize these dry odes, when Hafiz and Shakespeare speak so sweetly?" And I, wishing to appear a strict tutor, frowned in silence, though inside every smile of hers burned me deeper. I wrote letters filled with sighs and yearning. She read them with warmth, yet never took them too seriously. She smiled, set them aside, and left me in torment. Then came the moment that altered all our fates. Sophia learned that my friends, David and Michael, often came to my house. Somehow, she found a way to let herself be seen by them. That moment was enough. Both of them fell into the same trap as I. Three dear friends had now become three rivals. David and Michael, like me, were steeped in literature, captive to romantic ideals. They sought love not in union, but in suffering and distance. But Sophia, with her vivid and simple spirit, wanted something real. She saw through our play acting. We were bookish lovers, not true ones. Yet what use was wisdom? Love, like bitter wine, had intoxicated us all. Jealousy flared. One day outside the school, I found David and Michael locked in combat like wild beasts. Fists flew. Curses filled the air. Rage seized me. I rushed in, and the three of us tore at each other, blood mixing with dust. Police arrived. We were dragged to the station. A young lieutenant, his mustache curled, eyes cold, sat behind the desk. But content, he said, men of letters, yet brawling in the street like common laborers. He then ordered Sophia and her father to be brought in. Half an hour later, they arrived. Sophia entered with calm and majesty. When she saw us, our faces bloodied, our clothes torn, she cast us a glance of utter disdain. With a bitter smile, she said firmly, "These? They are nothing. That one was only my tutor. The others I do not even know. I would not trust them even with my shoes." It was as though the roof of the world fell upon us. Shame consumed us. The lieutenant, whose heart by then had clearly trembled at the sight of Sophia, rose with courtesy toward her father. Tea was brought. We were dismissed with scorn. A few days later, our neighborhood was ablaze with lights. Music and song carried through the night. Sophia was a bride, and the groom, none other than the young lieutenant of the station. And we, three simple students of literature, were left with broken hearts, a friendship in ruins, and a disgrace that would never fade.